first solo from I Tried to Believe from Heat in the Street, Pat Travers and Pat Thrall. I'd be lying if I said that one's definitely Pat Thrall played that one, or that one's definitely Pat Travers. The two solos over the major key bit, well, just what I remember, on that line, and I'm not a bass player, but there's a fabulous line like that that runs off the F sharp by Peter Cowling. It's absolutely great. So if you play the bass, listen to that and just listen to the fills. Not just that one, he plays loads. Anyway, back to the... As I said, I'd be lying if I said it's definitely Pat Thrall. I'd be lying if it said it's definitely Pat Travers. And the two solos are similar in style, and at one point in each of them they use a... they use that line that you probably think is a very country based line, like that line. They both use that at one point in the solo, so it might be taking a wild guess to say I think Pat Travers does 1 and 2 and Pat Thrall does the fusion solo at the end. That's just my guess, I could be completely wrong. Right. So we've got this. That's what the band are playing. I think you'd agree it's a lovely thing to play over. So your choice of scale, I think, is going to be D major. It's going to be that scale, right? So we're going. Right, so get your first finger in the 7th position. I think this solo, I'm not going to play it as well as PT, and 99% of people, probably more, aren't. But it's a solo you can play. It's a solo you can get a handle of on, I think, and make it sound quite close. So I'll tell you what the notes are, and hopefully that'll help. So, right, that's not quite as straightforward as it seems. That's an intro that you would do into. There's the 7, there's the D note, and it's that. So there's this little double, right? That's your opening. So the only thing is the up and down. Now that bend, I'm trying to make it as much like Dickie Betts as I possibly can, because it has that feel to it. So far we've got 7 and 9, bend to 9, let it down to 7, 9, 7, right, then again, I think that's very Almonds-ish, putting the neck bit. Right? What we're playing there is on the B string, 8, 7, and then 9 on the G. And go back 8, 7, and then 10, 7, 10. Right, and then little pause. And we're back to the right. So right, and then we do the country like that. That might be a little more difficult on a floating bridge guitar. It might warble a little bit. You could put your hand there or whatever. If you're doing it on a fixed bridge guitar, right. So we bend the 9, 10 and 10, 9, 7, little pause, end in the A, and then we're back to, and on to the next verse. So that's the first solo that I can guarantee was played by PT.